new hot and techy Brezza, the Citybird SUV.
Chennai Super Kings have lost 2 on the bounce. Sunrisers Hyderabad 2 tasted defeat against RCB. What can we expect as these two teams collide in Chepauk on Sunday evening? It's time to preview to that game on Maruti Suzuki Arena. Presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout, powered by JBL. Good evening to Tom Moody, Mitch McClenaghan and Varun Aaron. CSK losing back-to-back games and Stephen Fleming coming out and saying that they feel unsettled about the batting unit. This is unfamiliar territory generally.
Yeah, it is unfamiliar and sort of unfamiliar language coming from Stephen Fleming. You don't normally hear him sort of, I suppose, put his hand up and own a potential worry that they have, because normally it's a very calm environment, and we always talked about it being an unchanged environment when it comes to batting orders or playing 11. But clearly they're feeling the pinch of the tournament. It's a very fast-moving tournament in many respects, not only the way the game's being played and the boundaries and the high scores that we've been witnessing. It's on. You look at that table, you look where CSK are. They're in unfamiliar territory. If you look at their history, they're in a vulnerable position, and he's articulating that.
How do you think CSK can get the best out of their batting order? Is the rope presently afforded to Ajinkya Rahane a bit long?
Yes and no. I guess he's still a quality player, and we've seen throughout this tournament that if they've been given a longer run, that generally they start to perform. We've seen Jaiswal out of form and then come good. Stephen Fleming's attitude towards that kind of stuff, you hear him talk about, quite honest, is if Ajinkya Rahane wins me 3 games out of the 14, then I'll be relatively happy. And so he likes to be consistent. I guess the only thing you probably would maybe like to see now that they've kind of run with Moeen Ali in the middle there, I'd just like to maybe see him get a bit more of an opportunity, just to show his wares, because he's a high-quality batsman. He can bat it. He's batted in T20 at every phase of the game. So to get him into the game would be a positive. And they really need Daryl Mitchell, if he's at the top, to really contribute and score some runs.
On Moeen, they've been using Jadeja at number 4, and the strike rates have been on the lower side for Jadeja. Moeen has delivered for CSK, batting at number 3 and number 4, so can they consider a shuffle there?
100%. I think Moeen should be batting at that number. Jadeja a little lower down. That gives Jadeja to play in a role which he's more familiar with as well. The other thing which I would like to bring up is also their third seamer. If you see every game, 2 seamers have been doing well. Pathirana has obviously been that consistent one. There's somebody who partners him, but the third seamer is going for plenty, and that has to stop, because if they have to defend totals and if they have to get teams out sooner, they can't have like third and fourth seamer going for 14, 15 plus.
Yeah, just on that, I think what they may consider is Tikshana as an option for Sunrisers, because we've seen pace off has been effective against Sunrisers, and if we are going to see a surface that we expect, then it'll be more than likely a used surface, so therefore it brings the spinner more so into the game. What I do understand also is that dew's been a real issue down at Chepauk, so the toss is just so vital, and we saw that with the Lucknow chase. Not taking anything away from that Marcus Stoinis, incredible performance, but you could see the bowlers suffering.
I agree with Tom there, because I was actually thinking that CSK might go back to their old philosophy where they gave more sprint-friendly wickets. They could play Tikshana or even Santner to bolster their batting. Santner can be a handful, tall guy on these wickets, partnering up with Jadu and Moeen Ali. So that would be a great ploy for them. Let's see if that happens or not.
Let's focus on Sunrisers Hyderabad. They lost to Royal Challengers Bengaluru, and they also were kept to less than 200, which is so rare this season. Their batting template is not something we need to spend any time on, but within that lineup, Aiden Markram, what do you make of his season so far, and what are the pros and cons of Markram in that lineup?
Well, pros and cons. Firstly, the pro is that he provides a bit of a counterbalance to this all-out aggression. He can play more of that anchor role. He hasn't had the best of seasons, but he's also come in after a tidal wave of runs, and then sort of the expectation of him to maintain that. There's enough evidence in his performances for mine that warrants him to stay in the side. I think he's a good presence in the side as well, forgetting the batting outcome that you get, but he's a calm and very experienced presence around that group. So I'd be reluctant if I was Sunrise to make any change, because what they have been doing has been working. Yes, they had one slip up, which happens in anyone's campaign, but I think that solidarity is more important.
So wait a bit. Glenn Phillips is on the bench. Would have been an option, but
he's always an option. He's a world-class opening bat, or wherever he can bat middle order. I think with Glenn Phillips, you kind of, a lot of people question, can he bat at 3 if he had to come in Markram's slot? Well, he started his career as an opening batsman and then found a hole in the New Zealand side in that middle order and made that his own. So he's batted from 1 to 7 and can do them all equally well. So in terms of his versatility, he's a great guy to have on the bench. Tom's right. If you looked at those numbers, probably the last 2 games he just hasn't fired. And in a game where Travis Head doesn't get runs, you'd probably hope that Aiden Markram does stand up, but it's only a very small sample out of that. There's been some good performances there as well. So I'd imagine he'll get at least another game or so, and then they might look at seeing if someone like Glenn Phillips is a good option leading into the playoffs.
right. So this is at Chepauk. We've spoken about the due. So give me who you're backing: CSK or SRH or whoever wins the toss.
I'm going to back CSK on this.
I'm going to go whoever wins the toss. Like that.
SRH also favouring the toss.
All right. Sunrisers have a history against them as well. They have never won at Chepauk. Let's see if they can turn that around against CSK this time.
All new hot and techy Brezza, the Citybird SUV.